Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the most honest, clear, concise, metaphysical reading on the internet. And I use the word metaphysical purposely. I know tarot and Tao are in the name of the podcast, and it's true. The tarot is the Tao, it is the destination. But what I do is combine in a complete metaphysical kind of approach. It's something unusual. It gives you the big picture, it gives you the full picture, it helps you connect from the 3D to the 5D. I've done tarot for over 20 years, come to the conclusion, based on my own experience, that tarot really doesn't predict anything, but that's not its job, never was. The job of the tarot is the science of potential, your potential to manifest. We're not talking about fantasy, unicorns, rainbows, all that kind of crazy stuff. We're talking about absolute reality, the matrix that you live in every day. In fact, we all live in more than one matrix. You know, you have the matrix at home, you have the matrix at work, you have the matrix in society. The one that we're mostly talking about, of course, is the social matrix. And using this approach, combining tarot with astrology, numerology, you get the whole picture. You get reality, the matrix revealed. It helps you to manifest. That's your kryptonite. That's your power. That's the thing they're trying to keep you from attaining. Now, right from the beginning, we create pictures in our head. And as babies, we do it the correct way because we're not interfered with all of this technology. The technology is not here to help us, it's to interfere. But to put on the clothing of being helpful, beneficial. Frankly, we are addicted to technology. That makes us dumb, stupid, intimidated, shallow, and lazy. We are addicted to our technology. We want to take the pictures, the sights and sounds from outside of us, and try to create something inside. It goes just the opposite. The stuff is created here from you, your experience, combining your 3D and 5D self and developing pictures, themes. We're not all here to be the same. I know we hear that shit all the time. There is an equality in life, but it's not equity. We are all not meant to be rich. We are all not meant to be good looking. We are all not meant to be superstars. We're all not meant to be famous. You get the idea. We come here with a different spiritual purpose. But we have been programmed by the people who run things to do otherwise, to do their bidding, the things that make them rich. A couple months ago, thought about something. I'm surprised I didn't come up with it sooner. Have you ever heard the expression GDP, gross domestic product? That's how they measure the economies of virtually every country in the world. But if you look at the expression gross domestic product, it doesn't say anything about the average citizen, the worker. It says everything about the people who are already rich, who run the businesses, who run our lives. Gross domestic product. The higher the number, the more money they're making, the richer they're getting, the poorer you and I are getting. Gross domestic product is another line of corporate bullshit that they've sold us like, well, look, in the country, it's a high GDP. Yeah, it means you guys are getting richer and we're getting poorer. Tucker Carlson said, God, I don't know if this was 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever the hell it was, relatively recently, although what his relatives have to do with it, I don't know. But nevertheless, all seriousness aside, he said that he was going to go to Japan. He had some business to take care of, some interviews and stuff to do for his show. And as part of just kind of a background training or education about Japan, he did some looking and he saw that their GTP was very low, or GDP was very low. Gross domestic product, I think less than 1%. Well, with the way we're brainwashed, we would think, oh, God, man, Japan's a shithole. It's a toilet. It's terrible. Look at that low GDP. He said he went there. He was amazed, astounded. It was beautiful. It was clean. People were friendly. Life was good. But the low GDP was saying that the rich weren't getting richer. There was a balance. So, as part of this kind of programming that capitalism slash usury, because that's what it started out to be, was usury, charging people for loans. 1700, they went, hey, you know what? Let's change the name. Let's freshen it. We need a new PR image. Let's call it capitalism. Oh, still usury. So when you look at terms like the gross domestic product, realize the higher the number, the more powerful, the rich are already getting. You're getting weaker, and you're losing out. So just a little frame of mind. So same thing, by the way, goes with manifesting. They don't want you to manifest. A baby, uh, they've done surveys, they've done testing. Kids 5 years old entering kindergarten, really high creativity, really high. Almost every single one, almost 100% of the kids, real high creativity. By the time they graduate from college, they got their PhD, the creativity is almost gone. Because the whole idea of school is not teaching you to think, it's teaching you to memorize. You don't think, you memorize. You fit the system. So what I'm doing here is combining the tarot and numerology and astrology. I've done tarot for 20, numerology, astrology for 50 years. What we do is we begin with a look at the astrology, numerology. We kind of set up the matrix, if you want to call that term. What's the conditions? Where are you at right now in your life? What are you surrounded by? What's your society like? History repeats, and we know it does from experience, but we also know that that's what astrology numerology is, the history of cycles, signs of cycles over cycles over cycles over cycles. And I've shown you several times. I won't do it today. But you can go back 10, 20, 30, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and if there's the energy is the same, if the astrological configuration is the same, you will get the same kind of experience every time that it lines up. And being able to do that allows you to go, oh, okay, I see what I'm feeling. And I know that from history, they were like that. Okay, now I'm beginning to get a better understanding. And the minute you get better understanding, now you'll be able to manifest better. That's the whole thing here. That's what makes us different. So again, tarot is the science of potential. That's the destination. But the map to that destination is numerology and astrology. These patterns keep repeating. We hook into the patterns so that you can understand, you can feel, you can sense, or intellectualize, if you will, what happened before. So now you can bring that same energy to the front, to the future, so that you know how to handle things better. You know how to reach your potential better. You know how to manifest better. It's how it all ties in. Nobody else does this. We're going to begin the evolutionary journey in a moment, but I just want to take the time to remind you now I do have a single email, tau-tarot at proton.me, tau-tarot at proton.me. Feel free to comment. Yes, no, maybe so, whatever. You can be friendly, you can be angry, it doesn't make any difference. It's communication. That's the one email, tau at tarot, or not tau at, tau-tarot at proton.me. By the way, there are still one or two people who think that the .me is an ego thing. It's not. Proton. So I'm getting away from Yahoo and Gmail and all the rest of that. And I don't know if I'm making a big difference, but I'm trying to make a statement anyway. Proton says you got two choices. .com for business, .me for an individual. They consider my tarot reading personal, so they gave me the .me. That's how that came out. I had nothing to say about it. Tau-tarot at proton.me. I thank you in advance for leaving a little bit of information about you, some commentary, and I thank you very much for the effort. So now let's get to it, huh? This is the astrologic portion. This is where we take a look at the astrology. And being that I've gone through American history via astrology because I wanted some extra insight. I wanted to know what the energies were like. I wanted to know, if you will, I guess what the matrix was like when we signed the Constitution. I want to know what the energy was like when we had the Civil War, or World War One or World War Two. Because if I can dig in with the astrology, I can figure things out. I can get a feeling, and it was most enlightening, especially because of the fact next July 4th, that's July 4th, 2026, America will turn 250 years of age if we last that long. And frankly, without trying to be funny, I am not 100% sure that the country is going to look the same by that time, but we'll see. We'll see how it all cranks out. So I wrapped it up a couple of days ago by taking us to the present. And now what I'm doing is just diving into certain time periods for information, for illumination. And so today I'm looking at the end of the 1990s into the very early 2000s. Looking at the presidents there: Bush the first, Clinton, Bush the second, Obama, Trump, Biden. And now we're getting into the end of the first year of Trump 2.0. Those guys, every single one of them, no exceptions, were puppets of the deep state. In fact, people who have studied the American presidency said that you probably have to go back to JFK before you had any president who acted independently, who actually served the office of the presidency. But every president, from Nixon all the way up through Trump 2.0, have all done what the rich dystopian people wanted. They didn't run the government. What do you think? You think MAGA, or not MAGA, but Trump is running the United States? Take a look at what he does. And I suspect this energy, this negative energy, has been around for a long time, and I suspect has to do with Zionism, if not Israel itself. I mean, after all, Bibi Netanyahu has said on any number of occasions he has more power than the president. He controls the U.S. Congress. All you have to do is look, and you see that that would apparently be the case if you look on the surface. So the idea behind this page, Astrologic, is the dystopian dream. Where did it all go wrong? So many people these days are going, yeah, what the hell's happened to my country? Within a real short time, it just flipped. It lost its friggin' mind. What the hell happened? Well, I believe it all went wrong with these presidents in particular: Bush 1, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump now 2.0. They are listening to the people who have them by the balls. Simple. You're going to do what we tell you, or we will get rid of you one way or another. And the message is delivered clearly. So I've put the energy change with the first Bush presidency, Herbert Walker Bush. By the way, his father, Prescott Bush, was the guy who tried to overthrow Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1933. He and a bunch of Zionists said that they wanted to get rid of FDR because he was considering and being thoughtful of the middle class. He wanted to try to help them out in the Depression. They said, we don't want that. Now, they did not succeed, and I'm not going to get into that story, but the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Prescott Bush, by the way, he didn't go to prison, didn't get accused of any crime, and at the end of World War II, he got to be president of one of the biggest banks in New York, of course, connected to the Jews and Jewish bankers in Europe, of course, had to pay him off. So Prescott Bush, the grandfather or the father of H.W. Bush, both evil men, unquestionably evil, and especially H.W. Bush, the first Bush, because he was the one who declared the New World Order. And I think that's when it changed. That's when the deep state, I will say Zionist Jews, maybe most Jews, period, I don't know. But that's when they decided to peak through and tell us, F you. We are in charge now. Didn't hide it anymore. After World War II, they worked like hell for 40, 50 years. But they got it set up. Bush the first, HW, said we're getting to a new world order. Clinton continued, Dad. He did AFTA, the American Free Trade Agreement, which killed unions, gave permission to the corporations to say F you to the United States and take their business out of the country. Bush 2 was just a puppet, was a cartoon character. Obama, horrendous president. Horrendous president. For a whole bunch of reasons I'm not going to get into right now, but what a disappointment. Then we got Trump. Trump, boy, I still can't figure that guy out. I don't know where he's super intelligent or super dumb or a combination. But he's just unusual enough that he pisses off a lot of people. That can be helpful. He did not serve the country well in his first term. So Joe Biden got it. Boy, if you thought Bush the second was a puppet, they knew a year before Biden became president that he was not compos mentis. He was losing his mind. Didn't make any difference. He follows orders. Completely disseminated or destroyed the United States social fabric. And then Trump 2.0 comes in and he says good things, but to this point, man, I'm not seeing much. Again, things are extremely complicated. So I don't know whether he's playing checkers or chess 5.0. I don't know. But I am not trusting him. Give him a little bit more rope, so to speak. But I don't trust him. The presidency, as well as the United States, at this point is up for grabs. I think it's that serious. So these presidents, from Bush the first through Clinton to Bush the second, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump now 2.0, they follow the same approach: divide and conquer. Could be men against men, men against women, race against race. Anything that they can use to divide us, that's what they're going to do. Abraham Lincoln was right. Country divided cannot stand, and that's where they are. They want to divide and conquer us. They want to keep us bitching at each other from every angle they possibly can. Then there, of course, was the social programming. It was the feminizing of America, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean women tend to be more needy in terms of social connection. So they pushed equity, mediocrity, equality. You got a medal just for being there. Not that you were the best, not that you were the most talented, not, just for being there. Well, what happened is that gave people a lot of expectations they had no reason to be, because if you study astrology, as I said, we're not all meant to be good looking. We're not all meant to be rich. We're not all meant to be famous. We're different. But that's not what they're pushing. And part of the reason they're pushing that is because it's a divide and conquer. They know people aren't going to tolerate mediocrity and call it equality. Another division point. So I did a little looking at the astrology, and boy, it popped out real fast. Right around the time that Bush the first, Herbert Walker Bush, told us about the New World Order, we had Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all in Capricorn. New World Order. The timing from an astrological point of view is perfect, right on. New World Order, screaming, and Jupiter and Saturn supported the effort. So that's what we're dealing with, a new world order. I don't care what lipstick they put on the pig. It's still a pig. Let's go to the meme for the day. It's all about digital ID. You can read the information yourself. But digital ID is total surveillance, censorship, behavior control. You will do what we tell you, or you got big problems, Bubba. So check out the information. And we go now to the missing link, tying it all together. Stupid, 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 stupid. First of all, at the bottom of the page, we're talking about biometric federal ID. There's so much wrong with it. It's unbelievable. But they're selling it as a way to protect you, to keep you safe. Bullshit. It's to shove a camera up your asshole and down your throat, and they'll know everything that you do. And you better do what they tell you. And another stupid idea, I had to toss it in here, was AOC. Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, a dumb shit. And that's being kind. This is her quote from her. Owning guns is not a right. If it were a right, it would be in the Constitution. And pray tell, what is the Second Amendment all about, you dumbass? We go to the tarot for today. Four of Cups, no motivation. You take a look at the card. If you're familiar with the card, here's a guy sitting by a tree. He's got three full cups in front of him, and the universe, through a cloud, handing to him a fourth cup. He's got all this cup's energy, all this connection, all this love, all this. I don't care. And that's what's happening to us right now. We are disconnecting from ourselves. We need a little time away, says the hermit. We need to understand and then come together with ourselves first. We have to form union with ourselves. We have to have harmony with ourselves. And we can put it all together. Let's cross our fingers and hope. We gotta. Hey, time is up. We're all out of time. Thank you for spending it with me. I know it's an investment because money don't buy more time. Like and subscribe, please. I appreciate it. Between now and the next time you and I get together to do tarot, peace and blessings.